Okay, folks, I just got back from my second ever Warhammer Grand Tournament. And if you missed my first recap of my very first experience last year, you need to check it out here. It'll be here or here. One of these. Check out that video. Yeah, pachow. Respect to the pachow. But check it out. And then come back to this video and get part 2, my second ever GT recap. Here it is. Now, as you guess by the title of this video, I went 1-4. Okay, one win, one win and 4 losses. Okay, let's talk about it. First, if you watched my channel, okay, which you should be doing, but if you watch my channel, you should know by now that I am no stranger to losing at Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Okay. And secondly, shout out to Dragonfall, Dragonfall 2025. The link to that website will be in the description. It's well run. It's a well-judged tournament experience, and I definitely suggest checking it out. It is in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So if you're in the area or around the area in the Midwest of the U.S., check out Dragonfall. You're gonna have a good time. Okay. Now this was a 5-game, 68-person tournament over the course of 2 days. So this is easily the biggest event that I've ever been to. And at the end of the day, of course, 68 person tournament, I finished 44th out of the whole thing. So, okay, right? Okay. So what army did I bring to lead me to my glorious 1-game victory over the course of this tournament? Of course, my precious Space Bears is what I brought. Now, if you watch last year's recap, I brought the Necrons and went 3-3 last year. I went 3-3, which is actually pretty solid. But this year, I wanted to trot out the army that means a lot to me. It's what I put a lot of my hobby creativity into, and that is the Space Wolves, which I made into my Space Bears. And I'm going to preface this by saying this wasn't meant to be a competitive list. I just brought what I felt like I like to play, what I felt like was really cool, and what I felt like could really showcase all the hobby effort I put into making my Space Bears, and that's what I brought. So I'm not entirely shocked at the 1-4 results, because my goal wasn't to make a hyper competitive Space Marine army. It was to bring out my boys, and that's what I did. So let's take a look at the list, and let me show you exactly what I brought to the tournament. So firstly, I brought Logan and a 10-man brick of Terminators to be the unit to draw out a lot of attention, because they're super tough. It's going to take a lot of output to really take him down. So Logan and the 10-man Terminators, the new look Logan and the 10-man Terminators. Second, I took Ragnar Blackmane attached to 6 head takers. I take Ragnar every single time. He's just my favorite character for that faction, and it's hard for me to just leave him on the shelf. So I attached him to 6 head takers. I brought 2 more 3-man head taker units to add more quarry targets for the army. I brought a Wolfguard battle leader attached to 20 Blood Claws to be another melee threat. 2 6-man squads of my Bear Cavalry. Never leave home without those. I brought Bjorn the Fell-Handed because he's also cool. And as you see, I put him in a Redemptor chassis instead of the old school, Dreadnought that he was originally in. I put him in a Redemptor. And lastly, a 3-man Outrider squad. Now, they only exist to sit on the home objective because they're 80 points, and I just want them to sit on the objective. And that's what they did. Of competitiveness, as you can tell by what I brought. And also, I was the only Space Wolf player at that tournament, period. The only one. So that should have told me all I need to know about if the Wolves were competitive or not, but I was the only, that actually surprised me. I was the only Space Wolf player that in that whole tournament. So yeah, that should have been my first clue that was not gonna be a great weekend for wins and losses here. Now there is a second part to my enjoyment at Dragonfall this past this year. I was able to live stream, comment, host, all those things. The 40K friendly tournament that happened Friday at the convention, and that was live streamed right here on my channel, Papa Bear Studios. It was my first ever live stream. Period. I don't live stream here on the channel. It was the first time I had done so. And I have a newfound respect for all these host commentators who live stream these games at these tournaments, because it is a lot of work. It's a very tough job, and you have to know the armies, you have to know the units, you have to know the stratagems, you have to know some of the strategies and ways that these armies play, and you have to know all these things to really convey it to the audience. And very tough job, very difficult. So newfound respect to those who do that. And I was lucky enough to be able to live stream the 40K friendly tournament here on my channel. You should also check that stream out. It's 5 hours. You should check that stream out as well. Constructive criticism is always welcomed here, as you know. Okay, so I've talked enough. Now, let's get into the games I've played and the awesome hobby showcase here at Dragonfall 2025. So this will be my second grand tournament that I'll be playing in, and my first time I'll ever be live streaming. So we're gonna be on a journey, Dragonfall 2025. Let's check it out. All right, so the first game I faced the Eldar. My opponent was Tyler, who was awesome. The score was 87-41, and Eldar they're the fastest army in the game. My strategy is to run up. Eldar got to me first. They shot me down, and then they meleeed me down. So the Bears just ran out of gas against the mighty Eldar here. But good game and good sportsmanship. Okay, game 2 was against Little Forrest here again, and he had the Ultramarines. It was a fun game, as you can see. Very knowledgeable. Me and Forrest had a great time, but the Bears we overwhelmed him with our melee, and we eventually we took the day. So but Forrest was a great sport, and the kid has got a bright wargaming future ahead of him. Fun game. All right, so the last game of the day was against the Black Templars, and I played James, and he came in 22nd in the tournament, so not bad. Now, this is 2 melee armies going at it, and unfortunately for me, the Bears just ran out of gas at the end and were overtaken by the Black Templars. All right, Dragonfall 2025. We have some awesome dioramas, awesome painting. One of the examples is going to be one of the people I'm going to talk to right now.
Hi, I'm Katie, and this is my 1K doubles event tiered list for Subterranean Assault. I actually came up with the idea for this on a drive. I just sketched it in my little notebook, and it has come a long way since then, but It was mainly designed to have just the different layers to show that it's like underground, and use some bark, some Mod Podge spackle, and it all looked like a bunch of trash until I painted it, so yay! So some of the materials we used, the base is actually like 2 egg crates put on each other with the MDF wood, hardboard. And to get these textures, I used a lot of like spray foam, spackle, and then what you see here, like the textures for the alien terrain, it is just some epoxy rolled out that I had stuck up here. It's the same as what I do for the bases on the Tyranids, but I just rolled it a little bit bigger. And lots of foam was used up here for just the different levels. And then this kind of rocky texture here is actually tree bark that we got at the park and painted up. So it kind of makes a nice rock formation. So, and yep. So it took about 3 months on and off. I came up with the idea in August. You know, on and off, lots of glue, lots of glue.
Yeah, this is our team's event board here in our army. It's Slaves of Darkness, all Dark Oath, all the time. We started this project, my teammate and I, for Adepticon last year for teams. It was 2 other players from Portland, Oregon. We painted over 200 models together in a 3-month span. Since then, we brought the army here with just the 2-person team member, and it's a lot of fun. We love this army. It's kind of the antithesis of how Warhammer plays. We're just here to survive and score some points, and it's kind of unique, so people usually have a great time playing this. It's well over 130 models in the collection.
Wow.
And it took a very long time. It's quite a grind to paint all those models up, but we really enjoyed it. They're fun to paint. They're great models. So yeah, it was a long slog, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
And then how many points would you say you have on display here?
We have 1,940 points on display on our board here. Well, in addition to demon prints, that if we achieve our dark apotheosis, he can come out and start smashing some things.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The display looks amazing, and good luck this weekend.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you. Thanks so much.
All right, so now we're at day 2 in game 4. If I can get his attention here. There we go. I played Colin, who actually ended up 5th in the entire competition. And so great for him. And I just had no answer with the Adeptus Mechanicus. Those robots in the middle, they held that objective the entire game. And really not having any shooting really hurt me in this game. I could not do anything against Colin's Adeptus Mechanicus. So good game for him. So for the last game, I played Robert's Dark Angels. He ended up 27th in the competition, and unfortunately, this is the only footage I got. Hard-fought game, but I could not beat those Dark Angel Terminators. So that was my 2nd Grand Tournament, and I will say this time around, I was much more prepared for the speed of play. I was much more prepared for the absolute grind. That is 12-hour days of playing Warhammer for consecutive days. I was also more prepared for the mentality that kind of goes into what to expect in general, needing water, pacing yourself, all those things. Much more prepared this time around. So I did suffer less this year than I did in my previous experience last year. Now, I went 1-4, which isn't great, but I still had a great time, and that's really just due to the mentality that I have when it comes to what I actually want out of this game. I don't meta chase or anything like that. As you watch my channel, you can see that. And I don't have a problem with people who do. Like if your goal is to be the best player, there's some of that you have to do to some degree. So not knocking you if you do. And I didn't start this channel because I'm some war game genius. Again, if you watch, I make a ton of mistakes. A ton of mistakes. And you guys always call me out like, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do this? And why do you? Because I make a ton of mistakes. So I'm not a war game savant, as it were. I'm here because I just really enjoy the creativity that the hobby brings out of people, and a lot of the camaraderie that the game brings out of people as well. You know, after every game I played at Dragonfall, you know, when the game was over, I talked to my opponent. We talk about our favorite factions. We talk about funny Warhammer memes and so on and so forth, and talked about our families and who we are and what we do, and just things outside of the hobby. And that's the best part of the hobby. It brings us all together to celebrate this fandom we found ourselves into, and we can talk about how, you know, this hobby just makes us all poorer than we would be without it, and that's always fun too. So, and the camaraderie of the game is better than any win in my book anyway. So that is my 1 in 4 experience at my second ever Warhammer 40,000 Grand Tournament. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share, do all these things that YouTube tells us to do. And I will see you all in the next game. Thanks.